So today I'll be reacting to this story that broke a couple of days ago. Senate President Godswill Akpabio made sexual advances at me, says Senator Natasha. And this one has been going around the houses for a couple of days now. Let's watch this video and I'll give you my thoughts towards the end. Let's get to it.
It started on the 8th of December, 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday. We are birthday mates. We were all in Akwa Ibom because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akwa Ibom. And at first we were at Ikotekpene. We were in his house in Ikotekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyo, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us. Just three of us were walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that. This designer here, he bought this from us. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband.
So the first thing I wanted to say is, why is he holding your hand while showing you his house? And you allowed him to show you his house, holding your hand throughout, and your husband was behind. You didn't say anything. Your husband didn't say anything. You guys think both of you thought this was a good idea? That's the first thing. Let's keep watching.
And was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me. And the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not? And then the Senate President too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear the invitation to treat or not? So then the Senate President now said, "Oh, by the way, let me show you my chapel." He has a chapel in his house as well. So when we were going to the chapel, we walked in silence and all. So that evening, before we left the Senate President's house at about 11 midnight to the 4 points in Ikotekpene. And my husband asked me, "Natasha, what did the Senate President whisper to you? What's he telling you?" I thought, should I tell him that he was speaking about bringing me in here at a special time for us to have a good time? Or should I just kill it there, wrap it as if there was nothing? Because tomorrow was a big day. I know how much my husband adores the Senate President. He loves him as a brother. My husband would do anything to support him. So I told my husband nothing. I can't remember what I created, but I just gave him some words to manage, to mask what was said. When we laid in bed, I lay to my right and my husband wrapped his arms around me and he said, "My love, you can't tell me anything. What did the Senate President tell you?" Again, I was like, "Don't you believe me?" I said, "Nothing, nothing. Moreover, it's my birthday in a few minutes. Let's just be happy." Then my husband told me he doesn't want to see me travel out of the country alone and I should not go to the Senate President's house because he has a guest house where many senators do go there, after office to get approvals and all that. So I told him, okay, no problems. That was it. I thought that was going to be the end. But then in February, I wanted to move a motion. I wanted to move a motion for the investigation on the ills of corrupt practice in Ajaokuta Steel Company. I listed that motion 5 times. It was the 6th time that it was listed on the order paper that was approved. Many senators can testify to that. Each time the motion is listed, just before he takes it, he will say, "Oh, Senator Natasha, we can't take this motion because the board of the Senate does not accommodate it." Or he will speak on others and then let it drag so that just before my motion is taken, the time will be well spent and won't. So he kept on doing that. I went to him in his office. And I said, "Senate President, you know how important this Ajaokuta Steel Company to me is. You know how important it is to my people and to Nigerians. I've noticed that you have stepped down this motion. As a matter of fact, the member of senators told me, go and see him and plead with him so that he would take it. I was like, sir, please, why can't you take this motion? It's very important. It's been listed. Then it was listed the third time I stepped down. He then said, Natasha, I'm the chief presiding officer of the Senate. You can enjoy a whole lot if you take care of me and make me happy.
All right. You heard it. She spoke to Arise News a couple of days ago. And Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has also filed a 100 billion naira defamation lawsuit against Senate President Godswill Akpabio and his senior legislative aide, Mfon Patrick. The suit filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Now, this legal action stems from his Facebook post allegedly made by Mr. Patrick titled, "Is the Local Content Committee of the Senate Natasha's Birthright?" Right? So they're looking at this one, they're firing this one, but back to what she just said about Senator Akpabio, who is the current Senate President in Federal Republic of Nigeria. So let me just look at the key points. Natasha alleged that Akpabio harassed her in December 2024, and after she refused the advances, this is all alleged, she faced victimization, right? Senator Natasha also insists she has evidence which she hasn't provided yet. Some politicians are asking for a full-scale investigation. So for me, there are pros and cons of this particular claim or this particular allegation. For me, sexual harassment is often swept under the rug in Nigerian politics. So this case, it forces the conversation about power abuse or power dynamics and gender inequality. If it is true, it exposes how powerful men exploit their positions, not just politics, but generally, right? There have been a lot of cover-ups in high places in Nigeria. So a proper investigation that yields results can set a precedent for accountability. And it also shows that Nigerian female politicians who have often faced intimidation and sexism in the past, this might encourage them, again, linked to the point I made before. Natasha's courage might inspire more women to speak up. But there's some concerns as well. Could this be politically motivated? This is an allegation, right? And this allegation came after political tensions with Akpabio, not before, after. Is she using this to gain sympathy and undermine Akpabio's position as Senate President? Where is the evidence? She claims to have concrete evidence, but has not provided anything publicly. Until proof is presented, this remains a he said, she said situation that could damage reputations without any accountability. Now, just to add to that, Akpabio's wife has responded aggressively with a lawsuit. She's backing her husband. She's saying he's a responsible man. And she's pretty much saying that Senator Natasha is creating content. If Natasha can't provide solid proof, this could backfire badly for her and could even hurt her political career. My final thoughts. At the end of the day, Nigeria needs transparency in its political system. These allegations should not be ignored, and a fair, unbiased investigation should be conducted. If Natasha is telling the truth, she should present her evidence. Now, if she's lying, then the lawsuit will decide the consequences. But one thing is clear, political power should never be used to intimidate or silence people. And I'm sure these senators have something much better to do. I mean, sort the country out, sort your constituency out, which is why you're representing the people in your state. So although this sounds like a big scandal, we'll see what will happen in the days and months to go. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. And I'll see you in the next one.